Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video we're going to make a poor man's version of the set of winding sticks. Hope you enjoy. So what I'm going to be using here is just a stick of pine, 19 mils by 1220 mil I believe it is, and we're just going to be using this for our set of winding sticks. Now obviously it's store bought. I checked for one that was as straight as I could get it, and this is almost dead straight. So before we get started and cut this to length for our winding sticks, we obviously want to make sure that these sides are square. So first test, because this is a store-bought piece, we don't necessarily have to plane it, but we want to get our square out and check that these two sides are square to at least one face. So you want to grab your most accurate square, or a little square if you've got one that's accurate, and we want to be checking to see if they're square. Now if they are properly machined, they should be nice and square, which for me this side is. So I now want to check to see if this side is also square to this face. And that actually happens to be square all the way down. So now that I've done that, I just want to double check that this face is also square to it, because it's nice to know if the whole thing is square. And looks like this is actually square all the way around. So as you can see, this speeds the whole process up, because if it's already square, because it should be from the store, hopefully, then we can just move straight on to actually cutting it to length. Now this is 1220 mil, and this process is perfect if you want to have really wide deck sticks. Now because this is 1220 and I bought this specifically for this project, or this tool, we're actually just going to cut this in half. Now that's going to make them 610 mil long. Now the advantage of this is, as it's for the beginner or a cheap tool, these winding sticks can also double as straight edges. So we kind of get two tools for the price of one here. So it's just really good bang for your buck. Now, is it going to stay 100% square? Maybe not, but once it's got a finish on it, it's less likely to move. And if it stays in the shop where it's acclimatized to, it's also less likely to move. So let's jump down here and we'll cut this to length. Get our measurement. So I'm going to come up to 610 mil. Use my marking knife. Put a line there. I'm just going to square it across the face and down one side. So now I've obviously got this up on my bench hook, and you're going to grab any back saw you got. Today I'm going to use this tenon saw that I've got from Robert & Lee. And so we start on that line. Square a line right across, and then follow the line that's on my side is what I'm going to follow now. Now most of the way through, before I finish this, I just want to prop up this side over here so it doesn't drop when I cut. So I'm just going to prop it up with the base of my combination square, just to keep it up so it doesn't drop. That just improves the accuracy of that cut, so if it drops, sometimes it throws the cut off, and so it's just another process of keeping it sort of better in alignment. Now you guessed it, we want the shooting board, because we want to shoot those edges square, because for no particular reason, you don't have to, but I like to do it, just makes it a little bit nicer. So we can square these off any edge, it doesn't matter. And just for the sake of it, we'll flip this across and do the other side. And then the next stick, end over end. If you have a look here, there's a little bit over on the edge of this stick. Now they don't have to be 100% the same length, but for this I'm just going to line them up and draw a line across there, and I'm just going to plane this off. They're the exact same length, which is perfect. And if we hold them this way, we can see they're the exact same thickness or width as well. If you've seen my premium winding stick video, you'd notice that I had a contrasting piece on the back winding stick to make it easier to see over the top of the front stick. So we're going to go ahead and do this, but today I'm not going to do an inlay. We're going to do this because this is the very basic, poor version. We're going to grab a Sharpie. And what we're going to do is grab one of these sticks and we're going to run a line across the top of one of these sticks. If we have a nice close look here, we see we've got this big solid black line along the top here, and that's going to be our contrast, and it's going to make it easy to see over the top. Now, you don't just have to put it on the front. I like to run it along the top as well, and that means when you're viewing it you don't see any of the light color, it's all just the contrast. So you can see it's acting like we had put an inlay in there, and I like to put it on the top because I have seen some people just put it on the front, and I've tried that in the past, and you end up, if the alignment's out, you see the light part of the pine and it becomes hard to determine that from the front stick. So that's why I like to sit it just on the top there as well. Now there's one other thing we can do. We can measure the center of these and put a little line or a dot so we know where the center of it is. You don't have to, you can just eyeball it. It doesn't really matter if they sit 100% dead center, but it is nice to know where it's dead center. So let's put a center mark on these ones. So to do this, I'm going to lie them both down side by side so we can do them both at the same time, just like this. And put a dot and a dot. And now to make that a little more noticeable, we're just going to get the square, which I don't really want to touch this onto the square. And we're just going to put a line like that so you can see we've got our center lines. So there you have it, folks. That's the poor man's version of a winding stick, and I hope that helps some of you out to know what to do if you didn't have the tools to do inlays, if you'd seen my premium winding sticks, or you weren't sure if you were going to use winding sticks, or say you just had a wider project than your premium winding sticks or the winding sticks you've already got. You can go out there, buy a cheap piece of pine and get a set of winding sticks that double as straight edges, and you can just get to work without much layout of money at all. And these work, they work just as well as these premium ones that I've got here. Okay, maybe they're made out of pine, which might not be ideal, but they're going to stay fairly square for a long time, and you don't have to finish them since they're a cheap version. They're almost a throwaway tool, but if these are what you're going to be using and keeping around, give them a nice finish. I just wanted to show you that there are many ways out there to get tools to help your woodworking, and these nice cheap ways of making tools I think are perfect for the beginner that doesn't have many skills, doesn't want to lay out the time, or is a little bit uneasy about maybe doing rebates and stuff like that to get started. And so I don't like to have any barrier to a beginner starting, so this is perfect. But these will also get you out of a pinch on, say, a work site. If you are using winding sticks, or in your shed, if you misplaced your winding sticks and you got a piece of pine around, it'll get you started. So if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing down below. Really does help the channel out more than you know. And while you're down there, please don't forget to comment. Let me know about what you liked of this video, or your experiences with winding sticks. Anything really, let me know down below. And if you'd like to support me a little bit further and you really like this video, please consider giving me a super thanks and also checking me out on Patreon and Instagram. And if you'd like to see the video where I make these premium winding sticks, please check out the video up here, and also the intermediate woodworking playlist that this video is part of. Bye for now.